Welcome back to Practical AutoCAD and Inventor. In today's video, I'm taking a closer look at how to create and edit an associative polar array in AutoCAD. If you've ever created objects arranged in a circular pattern like bolts around a flange or chairs around a table or even numbers on a clock, then a polar array is the perfect tool. And when it's associative, you can easily make changes without redrawing the entire pattern. In this video, I'll show you how to adjust the number of items, the angle between them, and how to set individual elements while keeping the array linked and flexible. So in this example, if I need to surround the Death Star with X-Wing fighters so that we can get in there and destroy it, one Death Star, one X-Wing fighter isn't going to be enough. So now I've made a block out of this X-Wing fighter here so that it makes it easier for selection purposes, but it would work with any group of items or individual items as it necessarily would be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first go to the polar array command. So on the Home tab up here at the top, I'm going to go to the Modify panel, and then where it would normally have the rectangular array tool, I'm going to choose the polar array tool. And now immediately it asks me to select the object that I want to array, which again is going to be that X-Wing fighter. I'll press enter to say that I'm done with that. And then it asks me to select objects. I'm done, so I'll press enter. Then it says to select the center of my array, which will be the center of the Death Star here. And by default, it gives me 6 items arrayed around that circle, and they're all rotated as they go around. Now, if I need to change the number of items, I can come up here and simply highlight in the context-sensitive ribbon here, and I can say, let's instead put 10 around it. So now I've got a greater force of X-Wing fighters that are coming in from all directions. But if I wanted even more than that, I could come in here and I could say, let's put all 10 of those on, 2 or even 3 rows, so that as I type 2 and press enter, now I've got 2 rows of X-Wing fighters, or I could say 3, and it's going to line them all up as necessary. A couple other things that I could choose is right now, because I chose 10 X-Wing fighters, it's putting a total of 36 degrees in between them. But if I wanted to maybe concentrate my attack from maybe 3/4 of the side here, I could say, instead of 36 degrees between, let's just make it like 30 degrees between. And you'll see what happens here is that it's going to update this so that now it started with this one here, and now they're all 30 degrees apart, so they're coming in, and I'm leaving this side open. Maybe there's another fighter or something that's going to come in from that side. Who knows what it happens to be. But you'll see here that it's changed. I changed 30 degrees here, and it recalculated the total number to 270. And that's because the first one is 0 degrees, and then 30, 60, 90, and so on, all the way to 270. If I wanted to change the total spacing maybe to like 240, I could just come in here and say I want it to be 240. It'll recalculate and do the calculations for me. And then now they're all spread out between 240 degrees instead of 270 degrees. Now looking at this, I could also do additional levels. Again, this is the 3-dimensional stuff, but in 2-dimensional AutoCAD, we usually leave the number of levels at 1, so I'm not going to change that here. Of course, we want to leave this associative, because if I check out of this and then I click on it again, which I'll do in a moment, you'll see that it maintains them as a single object rather than, in this case, 20 objects. Right now, the objects are rotated, but I can check this box and it will unrotate them so that they're all facing the original direction. So now I'm just kind of coming and maybe doing a flyby instead. And then the other thing that I could do is I could change the direction that my that my array is going. By default, it's going to create that array in a counterclockwise manner, but if I check this one, it's going to go in a clockwise manner. I'm going to leave it the way it is. I'll choose Close Array, and you'll see that now if I come back to my original screen, that this is all one object. The array is all one object. And if I click on it again, you'll see that again it gives me the ability to come back in here and I could change the number of items, change the number of rows, all that kind of stuff. A couple new things that show up when I go back in to re-edit though is I can come in and I could change the base point on the object. Okay, I could also come in and edit the source, which I did on the rectangular video. I added a circle in there to the nose on the droid. But I could still also replace the items. So, you know, like let's say this one here I want to change to a TIE fighter for some reason. I could say let's replace that item. I'm going to replace it with this one. Press enter. It's asking me by the centroid. I'll just set yes, I want, and then which one do I want to replace? I'm going to replace that one right there, and you'll notice that it replaces that one, so that now I've got the one lone TIE fighter that's maybe going to try to take on the rest of those X-Wing fighters. It still is, however, associative, and so if I want to get rid of that guy, I can just come back up here and use this reset array tool, and it will reset it back to that original status. Now, another thing you can do with this is if I'm putting numbers around a clock, I would want all of my numbers to be upright and readable rather than upside down. So if I come in here, so for example, and I say let's take and let's create that polar array out of this. The center point of my array will be the clock. I need 12 items instead of 6. You'll notice here that as they're going around, they're rotating, and this one here is upside down. And so I'm going to choose this object here where it says or do not rotate, and then they're all unrotated. Now the problem with this is if I close the array, it's still all one object. So I've got two options here. I could put numbers into my drawing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 11, and I could use replace item. In which case it would still be associative, okay, if I needed to make any changes to it. But that one seems to be a little bit excessive to me. So in this case, what I would normally do is come in here and use the explode tool. Again, on the home tab up here, I will go to the modify panel and I will choose this explode tool. And if I explode this array, instead of all being one object now, it reverts each of these numbers into an individual object, so that I could just come in here now and double click on the 12 and make it a 1, and then the number 12 again and make it a 2, and so on, so that I've got all of my stuff. Now again, I lose that associativity, but in this case I'm probably not going to be making the changes, and if I did, I could simply erase numbers 1 through 11 and redo the 12, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. So a couple great ways to use the array tool. I hope you've helped, that it's helped you, and make sure that you hit the like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions or you want me to make any videos for you. Thanks for watching.